conference call. They are immediately on it in terms of communicating their message and what needs to be said. If we are going to redefine the conversation and begin to talk about having no fear when it comes to changing education in this country, you have to be fearless as well in terms of advocating your message and getting it out there quickly, decisively. Understand Tom Joyner, 8 million listeners. Steve Harvey, 7 million listeners. Michael Basin, 3+ million listeners. Ricky Smiley, 3+ million listeners. Yolanda Adams, national show. Warren Ballantyne has a national show. Doug Banks is a national show. Russ Parr is a national show. We have a media infrastructure that exists right now that reaches nearly all of Black America. Black Voices, Black Planet, BlackAmericaWeb.com, The Root. I can go down a line of websites. You have TV One, you have BET, you have TJ Holmes Show, Don't Sleep, you have my show, Washington Watch. We have an infrastructure that exists right now for us to drive messaging 24/7. You have to be able to understand those producers, those executive producers, those show hosts to ensure our voices are not absent. And I'm sorry, folks, too often Black voices, Black educators' voices are absent from this discussion. And so I say you should not be following, you should be leading. I say you should be, and if other folks are saying, we got it, you say, no, this is what we do. This is what we get paid to do. This is what we are passionate about. This is what we are experts at. And if we are going to have a different discussion, and we are going to talk about how to change the direction of education for our children, you have to be at the front of this battle and not operating behind other people. And I get the folks who get all the attention of the cameras, but sometimes you got to elbow them out of the way. Because the reality is, if we are going to try to change parents and change political folks and change funders and donors, that means we are going to have to understand that they fight the same way you should fight. And that is driving message, driving communication, driving strategy, driving funding, and also having the willingness to challenge people who believe in status quo. We are not going to be able to change these stats until we have everybody on the battlefield, and this is indeed a battle. I'm using every platform to drive education as much as possible, because we cannot talk about Black illiteracy rates, we can't talk about Black folks in jail, we can't talk about Black folks who don't save, we can't talk about Black folks who don't buy homes, because the key ingredient to everything when it comes to the future of Black America is education.
Yes. Yes.
There is no more fundamental issue that faces our community than education, and we've got to return to the attitude that Black folks had before Brown versus Board of Education.
I know that's
when you had Black parents who said, I might have a second-degree education, but your behind is going to school.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
A generation of Black people who had no fear. If we had Black folks who used their pennies to start colleges and universities, you can't tell me that if we are so-called the richest Black folks in history, the smartest Black folks in history,
yes,
if we don't have the ability to change the direction of this country, it starts right now by having no fear.
Yes. Amen. Amen.